Hey everybody, this is Gore Bolton. I'm the founder and CEO of Land Intelligence here in Columbia, South Carolina. And we are having conversations with founders here. And so I'm really excited today to tell you all about my friend Dean Shuster, who's a co-founder of True Matter. Their business has worked with us, and we hope they can work with yours too, helping to make digital products easy to use. So Dean, great to talk to you today.
Thank you for having me. It's great to talk to you too.
Yeah. So why don't you tell the folks, one of the things we're trying to do is broaden the awareness of just kind of what I call the goodness in the ecosystem here in the area. And we certainly count your business as one of those. Tell everybody, this is obviously very founder centric of folks that are out there watching this type of a thing. What inspired you all? What was your background to start True Matter?
Well, I tell you, it's interesting because we started out of the fiery ashes of the dot-com implosion. And I was with another company that didn't survive that particular implosion. For all the young people out there, I guess they can Google it and see what it was, but it was awful. And companies left and right didn't make it. And I was inside one of those companies. And when we finally got to the point where we realized that company wasn't moving forward, my partner Rusty and I looked at the book of business that was still viable. We said, there's still something here. There's something here that we can do on the services side originally in terms of apps and web. And so we decided to start True Matter. So out of the ashes of something bad came something creatively good. Yep. And this is over 20 years ago now. And have gone strong, and it's been a wonderful ride.
Yeah, well, I think that's, when you hear people's background stories, there's always kind of the opportunity, but I think every founder has that pain that they felt, yeah. Or that they felt, and it is that, but it's that empathetic pain that normally a founder is actually after, relevant to solving a customer's problem, right? So I think that's normally pretty good. So what does bring you all inspiration? What are you up to that you see that's inspiring you all to keep moving forward after what now? 20 years?
20 years.
All right. Well, congratulations.
Well, thank you. And I could answer that question in a little roundabout way because I always had this trouble explaining to my dear mother what it is I do for a living. Now, my mother is 77 years old, and as far as she knew, I was in computers. And I could never really explain what it meant to make digital products easy to use. And of course, because I'm the dear devoted son, what I do is tech support for my mother. And so one day, when doing that, and being, of course, perfectly patient, I talked with her through a problem, and I could see she was flustered and almost angry, right? And frustrated by the whole thing. And I stopped and said, does using this thing get you angry, get you mad? Yes. Are you feeling comfortable and calm right now? No. Is it me? No. It's this thing.
Right.
And then I said, Mom, my whole purpose in life as a business person is to make that frustration go away. And instantly she knew that's what I do. And she has no trouble understanding what I do anymore. So we exist to take that interface rage, that frustration that we all feel, we all have a common experience with, make it go away. And in making that go away, we're empowering businesses to provide the value they truly can provide instead of, just settling for the norm, which is really hard to use software, sites, intranets, apps. Most of them are terrible.
Yeah, and a lot of times the deep technical understanding that it takes to build that stuff. I kind of view this particular expertise and skill set as kind of the empathy whisperers of the users, right?
Yeah, sure.
Like how do I make sure, and if you're a founder out there, you want to pay attention to this, because if you don't have a diverse perspective on your team of somebody who's actually speaking for the customer you're not talking to, I mean, a lot of times that's kind of how I look at those types of expertise is, the example you had with your mother, right? If you weren't there in front of your mother exhibiting what was going on, it's a very different experience when it's just looking at video of a user experience on a panel dashboard,
right,
versus actually sitting with someone that you care about, right, that is going through pain. And
right.
so I think that's one of the things from a user interface, user experience, design, any design function. If you're not thinking about how to make that person's life easier, and you're not understanding that pain, I think it's a big miss, especially if you're a founder trying to create a scalable business, because you're going to miss a lot of stuff that you need to get done.
100% true. And if we're not paying attention to how real people interact with the things we make, we're missing a massive opportunity in the market, and we're just asking competitors to overwhelm us.
Yeah.
Because people will understand that they need to serve a real person the right way, and they will act on that. And that's how you get some of these software products that you know are wonderful, and you probably can think of one off the top of your head as we speak. Well, those are no accident. They take a skill set that my company provides. Sort of a niche skill set, but an important one.
Incredibly important. So tell us what's new with TrueMatter. What's on the horizon for you all coming up in the near term?
Well, we've been doing an awful lot of reaching out to various industries to teach and speak. And that's been interesting for us because over time we've not just been able to have expertise in a particular area of software development, of user experience, but we've got a lot of industry knowledge now. So it allows us to talk to people at a different level. And we've been doing a lot of that. So I view it as a little bit of a maturation phase for us. And that's also allowed us to continue to narrowcast focus. So a lot of our story has been every time we think we've focused in our skill set and our offerings enough, we always find a way to focus it more, which at first was scary, but as we've done it, now we realize is essential to being able to go to market.
Yeah, well, I think that's how we first met. Was you were speaking at kind of an entrepreneurs get together, actually before COVID, and you gave a talk about it, and I thought it was really well done, and I thought it was really insightful, and it has stuck with me to this day. So I think it worked, and we just hope that you keep doing that. And so that was one of the reasons I invited you to talk to us today too. So as many of you know out there, we're bringing the Founder Institute to South Carolina. And Dean was one of the top people that I wanted to talk to about being able to help other entrepreneurs on that journey. So, Dean's been at this for 20 years now with his co-founder, and so many of you may not even have the company set up yet. So tell us what you see there as far as being able to be a speaker and a mentor and an advisor to the startup community in the area.
Well, as I look back at my young self, who started out as for me, an accidental entrepreneur, to be honest, I can see advice that I think I'd give myself. And the core advice I'd give is relax. You actually can do this. It's not as bad as you think. In fact, you're almost always doing better than you think. And it allows me to be calm when in my earlier days, I wouldn't call myself calm. And so if I can give that back to someone, I think that will be a contribution that's important, because I'll feel almost like I'm giving it back to my young self.
That's right. Yeah, well, that's the old question, right? If you could tell your younger self, right? If you could go back in 20 years and say, hey, this is what this is going to be like, right? Yeah. So what is that like for you? What's the difference between where you thought you were starting and where you are now in that journey?
I think ironically, being on my own, and specifically with co-partner Rusty Farrell, right? It's actually been less stressful than some of the other things I've done. So when I look back, I see being in business for myself as strangely easier. And I know that's a little weird, but when you're ensconced in a large entity, in a large corporation, and you're given responsibility but don't have authority, you can tend to receive the brunt of bad and none of the good. And so being in business and having that authority has allowed me to enjoy more of the good, along with the normal stresses of doing this. I'm not going to say it wasn't stressful and hard,
Absolutely.
but it gives me perspective. So that's basically the difference. Didn't have perspective, now I feel I've got it. I'm less worried now than I was before, but the circumstances aren't terribly different because you still have to have ideas and fight and survive and figure out problems, and that hasn't changed at all.
Yeah. The startup mentality sticks with you as you scale, right?
Totally.
I mean, absolutely. Well, listen. Well, we look forward to you participating and helping to give back in the community based on your successes thus far. We look forward to supporting what you all are up to. We thank you very much for being willing to be giving of your time to the community for the betterment of all the entrepreneurs in the area. I know that a lot of folks with their ideas are going to need that mentorship and advice, and so we appreciate that very much. So thanks for being with us today, and we look forward to seeing what's next with True Matter.
Thank you.